What's up, people? How you guys doing today? Hopefully well. I wanted to jump on here and do a live, just like the title says, Life Outside the Debt Matrix. Give you guys a view of my perspective of capitalism now, which is a mathematical fact. Now that I can see, I now understand that 99% of the world could no longer financially trick me, fool me, nothing like that. That can never happen. 99%, well, not 99%, never say never, because I didn't create it. I just found it. So I'm gonna just keep saying 99% because obviously I didn't create what I found, because I found it. Anyway, I now understand that the reason why capitalism works the best in the United States of America, because we have the largest amount of unconscious debt slaves. And debt slaves are people that believe they can own with absolutely no money of their own. Okay. People that believe they can buy houses with mortgages, cars with car loans, save for retirement, contribute to retirement plans while having student loan debt older than the retirement plan, which is mathematically impossible. But that's the psychological part they don't know. But living outside the debt matrix, now I now understand that why everybody want to come here, because the people that know, they come here and use the system for what it is. It's a business. It's really, you just got to come here and follow all the financial laws that are created here. And I understand, like, I now understand taxes. Okay, when you cheat on your taxes, and when you don't pay your taxes properly or whatever, right? Besides that being against the law, that really says you don't understand how to play. That's why you're doing that. Because now that I live outside the debt matrix, cheating on my taxes would be cheating on myself. Besides breaking the law, I would just simply be cheating on myself. That clearly says cheating says I don't understand how to play. No different than a game, just, cheating in football. Everybody just understands the rules better of a football game. That's why if somebody cheated, they could easily be spotted. But it's like, let me give an example. It's like people will come here to America. They'll understand how, it works then compared to all the debt slaves here that do not know how it works. And, you can come here, create a business, create a product, charge for that product, whatever you want to charge. And then the government just says, hey, put this tax on it. And then when you collect that tax from the debt slave, you give it to us. Okay. But greedy people want to come here, not only come make all the money, they know it's unlimited. They want to come here, keep their money and the tax money. You can't do that. You cannot do that. That messes everything up. You cannot do that. That just says you don't know how to play. You cheating on your taxes. Let me tell you something. For those of you guys out there doing that, cheating on your taxes, you're cheating on yourself because you don't know how to play. Just the key word is cheating. Don't get involved with all the people. Hey, taxes are keeping us down and all this other stuff. Don't listen to those people. When you hear people, listen, this is what I want you to do. When you hear a person complaining about their taxes, you turn to them and say, are you making car payments? If the answer is yes, you have to understand that's why they're complaining about taxes, because they're making car payments. Living outside the debt matrix is let me give you an example. Now, if I rarely have to spend money on dates or anything, because once you escape, I would never date a debt slave. See, you guys, like, in the dating world, you guys relying on apps and all this other stuff, and you think it's where you live, and it's capitalism's all over the world. It's all over the world. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter if you go to another country. If you go to that country, you say, is it capitalist here? Yeah, that's the same thing. The majority are debt slaves. That's how it works. But they don't know that. So this is So when people come here that know how it works, they come from like countries that don't have credit or whatever, right? They come to this country and then they capitalize on it, realize, wait a minute, because you got to remember, people that are from countries that don't have credit and stuff like that, and they see America on TV, they're watching, they see these big houses and cars, in their projection, they're thinking, wow, those people are rich. We got to get to America so we can be rich like them. And then they land here and then they realize these people don't own nothing. Like living outside the debt matrix, you guys got to understand, there are so many people that do not know. Okay. And it is what it, listen, I don't want to change anything. I love it the way it is because let me explain to who taught me what I'm telling you right now. Who taught me this? The public school system taught me what I'm telling you today. They taught me math. They taught me the number line. 0 in the middle, green numbers positive, red numbers negative. They taught me that in school. If you decide, this is what happened to me. As an adult, I decided to stop using the number line against my finances because I started believing all the other people that also never used the number line. Everybody learned the number line in grade school. Everybody did. It doesn't matter the color you are. It doesn't matter what area you grew up in. Everybody learned the number line in grade school. Everybody did. Now, if you decide to stop using the number line for your finances, that's your problem. That was my problem. Once I applied the number line against my finances, I got outside the debt matrix. And then now I can see everything. You can, like, here, let me give you an example, okay? Because the mathematical truth is the mathematical truth, okay? Now, when you see like Dave Ramsey's plan, he says, hey, pay off all your debt, except your mortgage, and then start doing this other stuff and putting retirement money in this and that. According to the laws of mathematics, you can't do any of that. So when I see that, that's called business. Do you understand? That's called business. Nothing's wrong with it. Absolutely nothing's wrong with it. If you decide not to use the number line, that's your problem. It's clear that we have the largest amount of debt slaves in the world. We do. We do. And to come here and profit, you have to go according to the tax laws. Because if you understand how it flows, that's the only way you're going to become wealthy here in America. You have to. There is no other option. You can't do it like these people are trying to. Put it this way, okay? Outside the debt matrix, listen. When people come up to me, now you guys got to understand, there's other people like me walking around that you guys don't know. We just don't announce ourselves to you because it wouldn't make a difference because you guys don't understand capitalism is psychological. So it really wouldn't matter. But when you open your financial portfolios to us, let's give you an example. You say, hey, look at all this stuff that I own. And we look at your financial portfolio and we see the bank's name all over it. We know you are part of the bank's financial portfolio. That's why their name is on it. If the bank's name is on it, you don't own it. You understand? That's how it works. And then but you don't know that. So say for example, which I'm not, say like I'm a financial something, make believe, I'm making this up. And you come to me and you're talking about here's your net worth and here's your financial portfolio. And I look into your financial portfolio and I see the bank's name all over everything. I know what category to put you in. You're in the category of you don't know. So, and let me help you guys out. There's a whole bunch of tax professionals, because I want you guys to go and verify anything I'm saying, because outside the debt matrix, I know and understand. You can ask any tax professional, if you have a mortgage, listen to me. If you have a mortgage, if you have student loan debt, It's 100% mathematically impossible for you to lower yourself in your tax bracket. You can't do that mathematically. Okay. But whatever is outside of that, hey, that's all. That's up to you. Whatever. If you believe, listen. If you believe it's a belief because it's not mathematically true. If you believe you can save for retirement while having a mortgage, that's a belief. You're part of the housing market. Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with it. But if you because I want you guys to understand, when you hear me talk, I'm not against the system. I love the way it is. It's a choice. You either use the number line or you don't. That's a choice. We all learned that in elementary school. Nobody can deny it. I didn't know my credit report was my debt slave papers. I didn't know. They just kept track of all the businesses that owned me. And my credit score was nothing more than reward points for staying in debt with the owners listed on my credit report. That's it. Those were my papers. What's up, Brian, Nick, Lumina? So now when I watch when I watch 99% of the financial videos that are on YouTube, the majority of them they're taking advantage of the fact that you, as a debt slave, you guys don't know the difference between business debt and personal debt. You guys don't know the difference. That's why you never hear them say it. They always say, hey, debt helped me build this and that and this, and I build so much money off of debt. You don't know to say, what kind of debt are you talking about? Because you guys always been in debt. So you guys believe debt is normal. So you guys don't know to ask that question. But living outside the debt matrix, I immediately can see who's doing what for money. It's business. It's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Even when I brought up Dave Ramsey earlier, there's nothing negative to what he's doing. He's been in business for over 20 years. Does that look like he's doing something wrong to you? Absolutely not. He just knows how to use the system. That's it. That's nothing wrong with that. What I'm explaining to you, I bet you only 1% of the population even knows what I'm talking about. Excuse me. And I want the SMD family to understand and start to grasp this, okay? When I talk like this, they have no idea what I'm talking about. The majority of them don't. Only some of them do, but the majority of them do not. And the majority of them never will. That's the lovely thing about it. I could talk about it openly. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. They can't hear me. My message is for the people like me when I was in the debt matrix. I knew I was walking around in that motherfucker. I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't somebody's fancy car or where they lived, what part of town, where I knew it was none of that. I was just like, there's a piece missing. I'm missing something. Something is not working. I remember when I first, had all the debt slaves push me into owning. Hey man, stop giving away money on rent and all this stuff. I fell for all that. Got a house, finally financed it. Oh yeah, I'm a homeowner. It didn't feel like it. It felt like I had a ton of bricks on me. I was like, this is not the feeling that I was hoping to feel when I became a homeowner, because I didn't feel like this when I was paying rent. I was exactly correct. Unfortunately, I just didn't have anybody to explain it to me and prove it with math. If I had found me, because I was a computer engineer for like 20 years, okay? If I would have found a video like this with me and I'm proving everything I'm saying with math, I would have had to believe this person. I would have had no choice. There would have been no option. What if the math is right? It has to be right, because how many people in here count their money without using math? Raise your hand. If anybody in here counts their money without using math, tell me how you're doing that. Now I understand that the banks control everything. You guys got to ask the bank to buy anything. Now you guys got you guys are asking the bank to buy phones. That's why phones are like $2,000. You guys don't have the money to buy a phone in cash. They know that. That's why they charge for that, and they sell millions of them. Because you guys, listen, you guys finance the phone, the accessory, and the taxes at the interest rate of whatever the bank chooses, whatever they choose. Hey, your credit score is this, and we just choose that, and you guys just take it because you want that thing. But if you come to the positive side, which I can bring you and change your life forever, right? And then I just teach you how to use the system positively. You pay all your taxes. The IRS does never has to worry about you lying to them or tricking them or trying to hide some money somewhere. You won't have to do none of that, none of that. And then listen, because this is what you guys don't know, okay? When you guys give your taxes to the tax people, math never lies. So the tax person immediately knows if you're trying to cheat, hide money, you're lying about something. It's easy to tell. And I'm sure as many people that does it, if they told on every single one of you guys, they probably wouldn't even make no money. They probably wouldn't even make money. They're like, oh, ooh, he's close right there at the border. I'm just not gonna. And that, this is hypothetical. Okay, I don't know. This is not true. I'm just making it up. You, as a debt slave, you guys, you are owned. It's clear to see you guys are owned, right? So therefore, you guys are really the taxes. You don't understand you are the taxes because when you're the taxes, you guys act, you guys do things a certain way, you speak a certain way out in public. You don't know there are people like me around you. They could be anybody, any color, any age, height, from any country. Math is universal. It doesn't matter what language you speak. 1 + 1 = 2. You guys understand that? So it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't. I see you guys now. What is crazy to me to see you guys not only finance depreciating objects, which I used to do, but what I didn't realize I was doing on top of that, I was financing the taxes too. I remember I remember the last time I financed a phone. I remember one time, and this was like well before I started waking up, right? I remember I was financing an iPhone with Verizon, right? And they said, hey, the price is this. And then I said, cool, okay, I'll take that. But when I got that bill and how much it was done, I was like, this is nowhere near what you guys told me it was going to be. I returned that bitch. I was like, no, I said, there's something wrong here because I'm missing something because you guys told me this price. By the time I by the time I walk out the door, it's a whole different price, and I financed it all. I was like, no. I said, I'm turning that in. And then that's when I started waking up and realizing, oh, only dead slaves finance phones. That's why they do that. That's why when they start, and I remember when they took out like the phone jack out of the iPhone and said, hey, we get rid of the phone jack. I said, I didn't give you permission to do that. Maybe I still want to use it. I said, fuck that, I'm out. No, you guys ain't doing that. And then then they took away you guys' power cord. And you guys still keep financing phone. Are you fucking crazy? Absolutely not. I'm leaving. You don't get to do, no, absolutely not. But see, once you get outside the debt matrix, I buy factory unlocked phones, so my phones don't have a brand. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. Usually, a branded phone means that the phone is financed. So whenever you look at somebody's phone and you see a phone company's name on it, 99% of those phones and devices are financed. Okay, and so that means it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now I understand when I see a person drive a nice car, right? Driving a nice car, and I find out that they financed it. A financed car, I now understand it makes the driver irrelevant. It's and when I and put it this way, They allow, listen, it's crazy, but they have to. The banks have to do this, okay? Because you guys wouldn't be able to find, you guys wouldn't be able to get cars if they did, right? They allow you guys to roll negative equity into a new car. Like, first, they allow you to finance a depreciating object, right? And then they allow you to roll negative equity into a new car loan and then wrap it up and then charge finance. And you guys are so upside down before you guys even drive off the car lot. Like, you don't know that if you sit inside like a car lot office longer than an hour, you're a debt slave. You don't care about your time. You don't even realize that. Like, when you do, put it this way, for those of you that have done it, this is what I want you to do. If you ever sat inside of a car lot place for like 8 hours, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to a graveyard near you and park outside. And I just want you to look, I want you to say to yourself, 99% of those people ran out of time. They ran out of time. Who knows how they did it? Who knows how they wasted their time? But you just wasted 8 for a car to get in debt. Like, you guys really don't understand what you're doing. You're wasting 8 hours of your time to get into debt. When you drive up into your job with a brand new car, you're telling your employer that you're not going anywhere anytime soon. You got car payments. That's a brand new car with a sticker. Oh, and you're coming in bragging, and all the people coming out and looking. The people that are coming out and looking are just like the person that financed the car, and they're hoping to do the same. You're telling your employer, this is outside the debt matrix, you're telling your employer you're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, and you will soon be begging for overtime. You guys understand that? That's how it works. When you get it, now that I'm outside the debt matrix and I see wages and hourly wages and people's salary, and oh, he makes 6 figures. This is what I want you to do. When you hear somebody in a 6-figure salary or whatever, you're like, oh, this person makes money. They make 6 figures. I want you just to Google AI and say, how much does Amazon make in a day? And then I want you to compare that daily amount to a 6-figure yearly salary. Does that look like a lot of money to you? That's not a lot of money. That's a program. Okay, that's a program to make you believe that's not a lot of money. Amazon, Tesla, Warren Buffett, they're all telling you they're telling you it's possible. They're showing you. All you got to do is believe that you can do the same thing. I can help you reach. Listen, let me tell you something. I can help you be whatever you. And I'm telling you this before it's with me, because you're not going to believe it until you see me all over the United States and then the world. You'll be like, oh, now I believe them. I get it. I totally understand it. Okay. I'm just telling you before it happens. If you want to get a head start, if you want to be light years ahead of anybody, 99% of the people in the world, especially if you're in the financial area, I can help you do that. Guaranteed. You'll thank me for the rest of your life. Guaranteed. And this is listen, and I'm telling you, this is only the first part. I have another channel called 6 Cents. Number 6, IX. I'll put it in the details. 6 Cents. There's a second part. This part right here, here, let me give you another example. Living outside the debt matrix. I always like to get on this. All these finance Teslas, all of those guys think they're saving, they're no longer wasting money on gas. They all believe it. They all believe it. They're not doing anything. I guarantee you the majority of them probably rolled negative listen to me closely. The majority of them probably rolled negative equity from their gas car into their new electric car loan and driving off the lot. You see what, let me tell you how easy it is to make more and more money. Tesla took the Model 3, changed the front end and the rear end, and now debt slaves are running out refinancing Teslas because they got a new front and rear end. The car is still the same, just do a front. That's how easy it is to make money. You guys understand? That's easy money. Easy money. Easy money. You know how many I have no idea what's going on why I finance. So you know how many paper plates I'm seeing on the road? All those cars are financed. And what you got, those are finance cars. Those are not, they're not doing anything. Don't think anybody, well, how they afford a new car? They didn't afford nothing. Anybody that finances a car by default says that they can't afford it. That's why they're financing it. That's what it's like living outside the debt matrix. Debt slaves do not know the word when they use the word buy. They really mean finance. They don't know that they mean that. It's but it's easy to tell the people on YouTube. It's easy to tell the ones that are doing it for the good people for good, and you could tell it the ones that are doing it for business, and nothing's wrong with that, doing it for business, and the ones that are definitely scamming people. That's really easy to see. That's really, really, really easy to see. That's not difficult at all. Scammers, let me tell you something right here. So, especially the young people, I want you to really understand this, young people, okay? Because you guys really need to, because you're not quite out there in the world yet. Your mind hasn't been clouded up. I guess it counts on the household that you grew up in, but if you're still at home, you really haven't truly been exposed, right? This is the best way I can connect with you, okay? If you remember the number line, because you guys are still young enough to remember your math teacher's name, okay? If you remember the number line that they taught you in your elementary school, if you always apply it to your finances, you will win with money, okay? So say like this, say like you're ready to go get a car, okay? All right. And say like the car is $40,000, okay? And you have $2,000 savings in your savings account, okay? Use the number line. The number line says you can't get that car because you're short $38,000. You can't buy the car. And all you got to do is believe the number line and walk away. It doesn't matter. Listen, young people, it doesn't matter if your friends decided to ignore what was taught to them by their math teacher in elementary school. Okay, remember that. Don't forget that. If they decide to ignore it and they think they own, say like this: if you dare do this, just go to your friend, bring out the number line. You know what the number line is, right? Have them open up the calculator. Have them open up the calculator, put in their mortgage payment minus their mortgage balance, and hit equal, and then say to them, "You see that number on your calculator? Where on the number line does that go? Which side, positive or negative?" Let's just keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple. Say a number line, just say green for positive, red for negative. You ask them, that number you see on your calculator, does that number does that number go on the positive side or does it go on the negative side? That's all you got to ask them. And this is all you got to do. And when they have to say the negative side, they have to, right? When they say the negative side, you say, does that look like you own something or does it look like you are owned? What's it? Because you're owned. Like if you have a mortgage, you're owned because it only takes one day to buy a house. I understand outside the debt matrix, it just takes a day to buy a house. It doesn't take years or 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 40 years. It doesn't. I understand that I don't own equity in a mortgaged house because I understand if I don't have the money to buy the house, I can't own equity inside of a house that I didn't have the money to buy. See, that's now I understand. Like I understand that when I see prices on houses, like when you see those housing prices, those are for people that want to finance houses, not for people that could see. I understand that any house with a mortgage is available. So here, let me give an example. This is the easiest way I would do it. Say like I had $5 million and I was ready to get into real estate, right? This is what I would do personally. I would look somewhere where a big company is about to close. because I know the majority of those people will be working there, and the majority of those people will have mortgaged houses. And I say, well, is this company about to close? If that company is about to close, I'm about to start buying right now. I'll just look into the financials or whatever the company. So say like I happen to find out that it's going to be closing soon because there's something economic or whatever, right? I would start looking over there because they're going to start selling. A lot of foreclosed homes are going to happen because the majority of those people probably refinance their house 4 or 5 times. They have no money in it, nothing in it. They can't even afford to sell it. So I'm ready. Outside the debt matrix, it's not every mortgaged house is available. Do you guys understand that? It counts on the circumstances, the economy, whatever. Doesn't really matter. What's up, Doreen? It's a beautiful place to be, young people. Life is very different. You will definitely put it this way, young people. You will definitely not have to worry about 99% chance you won't have to worry about relationship problems, divorce court, child, baby mama stuff, daddy stuff. You won't have to worry. 99% chance you won't have to worry about that. You know why? Because you will never. I would never date a debt slave ever. I would most definitely not procreate with a debt slave, somebody in debt. That I wouldn't even date a person in debt. Wouldn't even have sex with a person in debt because sex, it confuses things. Even you could have a person say something. Hey, we could like this. Hey, by the way, I know you're. I mean, I wouldn't be like this. I'm just telling you from. Hey, I know you're a debt slave, but you're still sexy to me. I would like to have sex with you, but nothing's going to change. Okay, okay, and then you start getting involved, and some people think things are going to change, and I just don't want to deal with any of that because I have 100% peace here. I enjoy helping people to this side of life to where they can just be here, prosper in the United States of America, and enjoy what the system is here. When you understand how it works, it's pretty amazing how it works. It's pretty amazing. It's to have millions of debt slaves not know anything, to be able to speak. You see, I want you guys to see the way I'm speaking. They cannot hear me. They have no, even though I'm speaking English, they don't know what I'm saying because they've always been in debt. They believe debt is part of life. So that's why you always see businesses always talk about going into debt is the way to do it. That's how you make money. Scared money don't make all this other stuff. Well, you guys don't have any money. They have to say those things. You think, put it this way, debt slaves, you guys got to understand this. If banks denied everybody mortgages with student loan debt, that would hurt the housing market. So that cannot happen. You guys listen, if you're coming to get a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, and you haven't paid off your student loans in 20 years, the bank already knows you're not going to pay off a house. So you're just going to be there to make payments and payments and payments until you lose a job, divorce, somebody cheats on somebody, you guys break up or whatever. And then the process just starts all over. It's just business. You guys don't know that. You don't know. You can't, this is how, and this is psychological because you guys really just, that's how you think, right? You're like, hey, if I spend all that money and pay off that student loan debt, I will never be able to get a house. I'll never be able to get a nice car. You will never be able to get any of that anyway. It doesn't matter until you pay that debt off. Everything you will be getting is financed because you have debt. So the only way you're going to get a house, you got to go ask the bank. The only way you're going to ever have a nice car, you have to go ask the bank. Everything, because you're a debt slave. Debt slaves have to ask the bank to buy anything, phones, tires. You guys if you finance the car, you finance the tire. So now you got to ask the bank, hey, bank, can you finance some tires for me? Because I can't afford it. They already know that, though. But on the positive side, it's like, damn, you guys don't understand how it has all my respect. It has all of it, all of my respect, all of it. Oh, that's why we need IRS agents. Got it. Got it. Understood. Because if they fuck, oh, got it. Got it. Like when you put it this way, currency in any form doesn't exist for debt slaves at all. You guys don't even know it. You guys don't even know it. So when I watch travel videos, airplane, people trying to smuggle shit, and then you always see people try to smuggle money, right? And then they get in trouble for smuggling money, paper, and get in trouble. And then they have to pay a fine with real money. Doing all that stuff, that means you just don't understand how it works. You just don't understand. All that stuff just messes it up. When you understand, that's paper. That's paper. It's nothing more than paper. They tell you on the government website how much they make $100. Do you know they make $100 for 8.6 cents? It's not a secret. Just go to the government website and say, hey, how much does it cost to print $100? 8.6 cents. When I went to go see that, listen, I learned something when I went to go look that up. Okay, let me tell you something. 8.6 cents. I said, what is the 0.6? They break a penny up in tenths. I've never seen that before. I've never even heard of that. I've never even used that before. And because I didn't understand 8.6 cents. 8.6 tenths of a cent, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. So here's the debt matrix door. Which one do you believe? Do you believe it's worth $100, or do you believe it's worth 8 point? It doesn't matter what it's worth. It's just what it's worth is what it's printed for. That's what it's worth. And then I take that piece of paper and then I show it to you guys, and you guys believe what's printed on it. That's how it works. And then we get goods and services. Whatever. These are the laws and the rules. Don't copy it. Cool. I won't copy. Listen. People trade the time in their lives trying to copy a dollar that costs 8.6 cents to print. Are you crazy? You hear me? They try to copy it. They clearly say, hey, listen, this is verbatim. It doesn't for exactly. I'm just trying to summarize it. If you copy this, we own you. That's what it basically says. If you try to copy this money, we own you. And then there's people out there that go ahead and do it. You guys go ahead and do it. Oh, let me go ahead and try. Why? Then you hear them say they're gonna own you like a slave? Yeah. Or you gonna do it anyway? Okay. Well, shit. Like here, let me give another example of what it's like living outside the debt matrix. Okay. Especially if you're really, really young and you did this. Okay. Living outside the debt matrix, I now understand that only debt slaves will sell the time in their lives, will trade the time in their lives for money. Therefore, I understand that when a person does PPP fraud, only a debt slave would ever commit PPP fraud. Here's why. Because it's a federal crime. So they say, not verbatim. If you try to steal this money, we own you. You guys understand that? It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't say if you're still under this amount, if you're still under 500, if you're still 2 million, it says any amount. We own you. So a lot of you have gotten caught. A lot of you guys are just scared going through life. Can you imagine all the energy of being nervous and scared? All for money that you don't even have anymore. Waiting for that knock at the door, or the letter in the mail, or it might be years later. You guys move on with your lives and start a family, and of course you're not gonna tell your new partner about your crime because you think you got away with it. So you're not gonna tell them, and then they're gonna get that knock at the door. We've come to collect their property because you are their property. Even if you've been caught yet, it's just a matter of time. They got 10 years to look for you. Only debt slaves do that. like they say, hey, do you have this business? No. Do you have this many employees? No. Then you don't qualify. Okay, well, shit, I guess I'm not going to look for it then. But then when you go and you get on the internet and you hear these people, hey, I can help you do this, I can do everything for you, and that's a crime. You know it's a crime because everything they're telling you and checking out the boxes is you don't have any of that. And you can, that's a crime. What you thought you was gonna say? Oh, I didn't know. Yes, you did because it's obvious. When you're a debt slave, you guys don't know it's obvious. You guys start running those psychological things in your mind. Oh, I'm so small. It's only a tiny amount. There's millions and millions of people in the United States of America. You guys have a pattern that you guys don't know you have. And I'm sure some smart guy that understands what I'm talking about, he's probably a really good program writer and knows exactly what to write and look for what you guys do because you guys do the same thing over and over again. It doesn't matter let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what year it is. It could be 1930, in 2050. It doesn't matter. Math never ages or gets old or nothing. Math is always the same. And when you're a debt slave and you don't know that you're a debt slave, you guys are obvious, but you don't know you're obvious. These tax people, I know, man, listen, your accountants, tax people, if you're listening, let me tell you something. I'm talking to you guys. All you professional accountants, tax attorneys, all you guys, listen, I know I can only imagine how many people you guys see that you know is fudging the numbers, pretending this ain't that. You guys know the numbers don't add up, but if you told on every single person that was doing that, you wouldn't make any money. I get it. I totally get it. Totally understand. Totally understand. They don't know that they're obvious professionals, tax per people. They don't know math makes them obvious. But that also goes for you too, tax people, professional people. If you're fudging the numbers, that's not hard to see if you're doing it too. Do you understand? Because it has to make sense. If you're praying and not to be audited, if the numbers are not right, you're going to be audited. You understand? They're not rolling the dice or nothing like that. I mean, they got their pick. I'm sure, put it this way, I'm sure the IRS has their pick of how many you guys do in there. They probably come in, ask you the same questions, this, and see how you're going to respond to the same question because you guys have a pattern. Oh, I didn't know this. I was supposed to do this. Meanwhile, they're just adding more fines. Oh, you didn't? Okay, yeah, check off. They did say that. Yeah, check. All right. And hey, listen. And when you guys cheat on your taxes and then you go get an attorney, let me tell you something. Your attorney cannot change the laws of mathematics. I don't care how much they're charging you an hour. They can't do that. It doesn't matter how long they've been in business or whatever. It doesn't matter. Owned. Do you guys understand that? When you owe, like, put it this way. If you're making car payments and you owe back taxes, you are a debt slave. Do you hear me? A complete, and you're paying interest on taxes. You hear me? Interest on top of that, not interest on the TV. Dude, once you're outside the debt matrix, you cannot be with anybody like that. Anybody that believes they're making like when you're outside the debt matrix, put it this way: when you're outside the debt matrix, you understand how it all works. And then when you hear a person say, "Hey, I've been at this job for 30 years," and everybody's like, "Oh, congratulations!" and this and that. When you're outside the debt matrix, you're like, 30 years in and out of the same building for 30 years? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely, absolutely not. And I remember this was so funny. I remember when I was working. and I would be, we would have a meeting because we would be celebrating somebody's 10th year anniversary, 20-year anniversary at the job, and we all meet up and everybody, oh, congratulations. I was thinking in my mind, 20 years here? Coming into the same building, coming into the same lunchroom, walking to the same cubicle, going out for lunch at the same time for 20 years? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Might have been covering my mic there. Sorry about that. Hope you guys can hear me better. Sorry about that. Thank you. I know I have my headphones, but I must have put the mics down there. Anyway, thank you for okay, how's that sounding? Can you guys hear me now? Am I okay now? Text me and let me know. Time for me to upgrade my phone, I guess. I have my microphone, but my microphone's not working. Can you guys hear me? You guys can't even hear me no more? Oh boy. Oh, loud and clear. All right, cool. Oh, now I'm really messing it up. I'm about to drop it on the ground. Okay. I just had to know better not to cover my hand. I would have my phone. I had my hand under the phone. Anyway, it's to be here now though. Let me kind of give you guys an example of what's it like to be here in this space. I call it not a space, it's a perspective, because remember, when I hear a person, just like, I don't even know how to describe. Okay, so like when I hear a person say, "Hey, you don't know the world I live in," and this and that. Well, everybody lives in the same world. Okay, they don't really. And when you hear a person say that, they don't really mean what they're saying, because we all live in the same world. It's perspective. Everybody has their own perspective. Okay, so now the perspective I live, which is outside the debt matrix, I I can hear. I can't really listen to financial advice on YouTube anymore, because I know immediately if the financial person knows or not. Not saying if they're bad or good. I'm just saying, like, here, let me give you an example. All right. If you follow a financial person on YouTube, okay, ask the financial person, say, "Hey, do you have a mortgage?" And if they answer yes, if they have been talking about investing already before you ask that question, understand this. If you have a mortgage, you have no money to invest. If you don't believe me, all you got to do is this: open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. See that? See that negative number? You cannot invest money from a large negative number. You can't do that. Okay. So if you have a financial person that's talking about their investing and they're doing this and that, and you find out they have a mortgage, you might as well stop listening to them, because what they're saying is 100% mathematically impossible. Those of us outside the debt matrix know that. I understand that the banks control everything. They own 99% of everything you see. It's bank owned. It's not really the people that are in them are in the houses and the businesses. They're paying to manage the bank's property. That's all they're doing. They don't know that they're doing that. They're paying for the privilege. Years. They're paying years for the privilege. Like here. Let me give you guys the best investment that you could ever do. And no, let me not say that, because I'm not an investor. Okay. Let me say this. And just in my opinion, the best investment, I can give you some advice for the best investment that will pay just as much as your monthly mortgage. Pay off your mortgage and you'll find out. That's it. You'll be financially ahead of everybody in your neighborhood if you just pay off your mortgage. That's it. Pay off your mortgage. And then I want you to walk through your neighborhood. This is what I want you to do. After you pay off your house and pay off your mortgage, walk through your neighborhood and ask everybody, "Are you a homeowner?" They're going to all say yes. And then you say, "Do you have a mortgage?" They're all going to say yes too. They're all going to believe once like you did, believe they're homeowners, believe they bought houses with mortgages. That will be the start of your separation from that perspective of the world, of the debt matrix. That will be the start. But it takes a lot of it's psychological, so your mind's going to have to be strong, because your whole life is going to change. You're going to lose a lot of people in your life. That's part of it. But so you got to be strong. It's not just to get out of debt. Your whole life is going to change, and once it does, everybody's going to change. All the people everything's just going to change. It's a beautiful thing, though. It's a beautiful thing. It's a new place because I don't know many people that are here. And if you happen to come across this channel and you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you've never had somebody say it the way I'm saying it, please feel free to reach out to me. It's probably been in your family for generations. I would love to get with you so you can fill in the gaps of what I've probably, kind of tell me where I'm at, of what level or whatever. I don't know how it works, but what perspective, excuse me. There's not levels, there's perspectives. That's what I want you guys to understand. I'm not any level higher than any of you guys. I'm just at a different perspective. That's it. So I make sure it's clear, because when I don't want people thinking that I'm somehow smarter than you, or I'm just telling you right now what I know was taught to me in elementary school, in public elementary school, by the way, not private, public. Okay. Now, here's another perspective I see. When I see the smart foreigners that understand that you don't finance nothing. If you finance, you're never going to become wealthy. They already know this. So they come here. It's easy to see them now. I can see them. They're coming here, capitalizing. And congratulations, man. I'm not jealous of them. While we got just millions of debt slaves just running around. You guys are just doing things like, put it this way, the way the system keeps you guys busy, as if you guys are doing something. Like, first your job does it. First your job makes you feel like you're doing something. That's like 40 plus hours a week. And then you guys get wrapped up in entertainment, football, and all this other stuff. And then your phones and TikTok. You guys' minds never have any time to realize that you guys are debt slaves. And let me reiterate this, if you just come into the channel. Debt slaves are people that believe they can own with absolutely no money of their own. They believe they can buy houses with mortgages, cars with car loans, et cetera, when none of that is mathematically true. Luminal says, out of curiosity, what phase are you at in life right now, LJ? Are you renting a home? Do you have a roommate? Well, what I do right now, I have another business, right? Right now, I live with my sister, okay? And my focus is my other business and this SMD and 6 cents. That's my focus right now, right? It's not to buy anything. It's not to and there's another part to this. A lot of people, the 6 cents channel kind of explains this. Once I clear a couple things and do a couple things, then I'm going to be moving on to doing that kind of stuff. But right now, understand this: when you end up owning yourself, and I want people to understand this, there really is you can't really plan it until you're free. Okay, you can't really say, I'm gonna do this when I did, because when you get there, everything's gonna change. I can promise you that, and you're gonna think differently. You're not gonna believe you have to be somewhere. You're not gonna believe you have to have something, or you have to do this and be that. That's when you get outside the debt matrix, you come to the positive side. you're going to notice that everybody that's telling you that you need to be somewhere or have something or do something, the majority of those people will have, all you got to do is say, do you have a mortgage? When they say yes, that's why they're telling you that, because they want you to be like them. Do you have a car payment? They're going to say yes. That's why they're telling you that, because they want you to be like them. I don't have roommates. I just live with my sister. Yeah. I don't really know if you consider that a roommate or not, but I just, and that's just perfect for me now, because when you're debt free, let me tell you something, you guys, when you're debt free building a business, you have so much, you can put it this way. You're able to listen to your customers more. You're able to listen to your customers' needs more, if that makes sense. You're not you're not pressed to make money. Oh, I gotta sell this product for this price because I gotta make this. When you don't have any debt and you don't got any pressures, you can really design your business really good, and you don't have the pressure of having to, I don't know, put that pressure on your customers. Okay, because that's easy to do. That's easy to try to put your pressure of your debt, put into your cost of your product, and put that on your put that on your customer, right? It's, I don't know. That's why I'm at Luminoth. I really am. I'm in a beautiful place, spiritually, psychologically. I'm getting rid of the last little bit of negativity. I just have a small little piece. I mean, it's not small, but I'm on the process of getting rid of that. And then that's it. I don't have anything else. That's it. When you find yourself, let me tell you something, you guys. When you find yourself, when it's time to move into the perspective that I'm trying to describe to you, that's to be family members. The stuff from the previous perspective, let me tell you something. None of it can come. The outside stuff, the stuff within you that you need to take care of within you, I'm telling you right now, if you haven't taken care of it, you can't come to the perspective of in which I'm trying to tell you about. You can't, because none of that's allowed. In order to come to the new perspective, you can't bring stuff from the old perspective. It doesn't work like that. How do I know that? Because I try to do that. I try to pretend something didn't exist. I thought I could deal with it. I pretend it ain't there. Nope, it has to be removed. Because everything is energy. I want you guys to understand that. Everything is energy. If you think about it, that takes energy to think about it. You guys understand that? If it's there and it bothers you and you're pretending like it's not there, you're the only one in your mind pretending that it's not there because it's there. And it takes energy to do that. Once you remove that, now that energy is absorbed back into you. I had to learn what I'm telling you guys. It's energy that's just as precious as time. Energy right here while you're alive, along with time, is one of the most precious things ever. Nobody gets to waste it. I didn't, because you guys got this is what I've learned, and I'm sharing it with you guys. I've noticed the people that don't care about their time or their energy will try to push that shit out on me. I don't allow that. No. And they won't like it. It doesn't matter how they feel about the boundary. It doesn't matter with people with problems and debt and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter how they feel. Boundary. If you think you don't, and the majority of them believe they can, especially the closer they are to you, they think they can ignore that boundary. You have to prove to them, especially the people that are close to you, you got to be the harshest. Because oh, you're just my so and so. No, I am, but I'm a grown up, a peaceful grown up that doesn't allow negativity. And you got a person that doesn't care and welcomes it, because a lot of people feed off that shit, feed off of it. That's why listen, that's why drama shows are number one, because people feed off of negativity and other people's problems, and so they can ignore their own. That's why they do that. That's why it's a circle, you guys. If they pay attention to other people's problems, they don't have to pay attention to their own and their own internal trauma and stuff like that. That's why it's so popular. When you don't have any of that in your life, you don't even want to hear about it. You see all these channels with millions of subscribers for gossip channels. What does that tell you? That's a lot of people with problems, because people with no problems and peace, we don't watch that type of shit. We don't have it in our lives. Why are we going to watch other people? That doesn't even make any sense. I get rid of it all in my life. Now I'm going to go watch other people's? No, I'm not. That's life outside the debt matrix, people. I'm going to get a better microphone and stuff, so because I'm going to start doing more outside in nature talks. That's what I'm going to start doing. All right, you guys have a good one. I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you for posting my other site there, Nick. Much appreciated. Thank you, sir. It's a machine. That replicates, sure does. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of here. All right. You guys have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. There we go. All right. See you later.